Welcome back to another episode of the Suffer Up podcast with Nate, Ryan, Lauren, and Sydney. We are one day, not even, just a few hours after finishing the Florida Death Race with Run Bum races over here in Lake City, Florida. And we just wanted to do a race recap. We'll go ahead and give you guys a quick disclaimer. We are in the rental Airbnb here post-race, and so if the audio quality is not quite exactly the Suffer Up standard, we apologize for that, but this is what we have to work with. Before we get started, we just want to give you guys a quick introduction on who we are. We are Suffer Up, where our mission is to encourage and lead others to suffer with a purpose. We strive to level up in life with an emphasis on spiritual, mental, and physical well-being. This channel, as well as us, are sponsored and supported by Soft Socks. We wore them yesterday on our run, and we have very minimal blisters on our feet. We have enjoyed them. Veteran-owned company here in America and also local to us. If you would like to check them out, you can go to www.softsocks.com, or you can go to our link tree in the description of this podcast and check them out. We do have a discount code for them, and that is SUFFER10. Thank you so much for listening, guys, as we collaborate and talk about the Florida Death Race from not only a runner standpoint, but also from a crew standpoint. Our wives supported us on this race. It was an awesome experience and a lot of lessons to be learned. All right, guys.
Let's dive in.
Yeah. Florida Death Race, it's over.
Yep. It was a hot one.
It was very hot. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, the Florida Death Race starts over here in Live Oak, Lake City area along the Swanee River. It was a 74-ish mile race, and you carry a 1-pound railroad spike with you for the duration of the race. That is to signify your burden is kind of the concept of it. And you carry it for the duration of the race, and when you're done, you drop it into, I was kind of disappointed they didn't have the coffin there.
Yeah, it wasn't a coffin, it was a bucket.
It was a metal bucket, but
it's a railroad spike coffin.
Yep. And then from there, at the end of the race, you get a fresh spike that's engraved Florida Death Race on it. The trail was pretty much all along the Swanee River. It was probably 90% on the Florida Trail.
Yeah.
There was a few road sections, but
minimal,
very minimal.
And even a couple of sections that were on some dirt road were still technically the Florida Trail with the orange blazes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
So
it was rooty, pretty technical.
It was.
A lot of little ups and downs. I mean, we're in Florida, so not a ton of elevation gain, but a lot of little ups and downs with every little stream or creek that flows into the river. You had to go down to it and back up. And those definitely compiled by the end.
Oh, yeah. I want to say we had around 2,500 foot of elevation gain over the course of those 74 miles.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was roughly 2,500 foot of elevation gain. So for Florida, that's pretty significant, even though that's not really significant in the ultra world. So,
yeah, over 74 miles. That's not bad.
As a whole, the race was really good. It had a very high attrition rate. About half the field either didn't start or just didn't finish. So
yeah, this race is a little different than other ultras. It's got time cutoffs at every single aid station, and the cutoffs are not generous.
No.
This being the Florida Death Race, they really push you on this one. So I think the max time is 21 hours, which they did bump that up a little bit due to the heat, but still not a lot. So yeah, every single aid station, there was a time cutoff, and if you didn't make it by there, you couldn't go any further.
Yeah. So it was definitely a great time. We'll go ahead and kind of kick off this episode with the start line. Or let's rewind a little bit. We got in Friday night.
Yep.
The race started at 0400 on Saturday.
Yeah, mandatory packet pickup on Friday night
Friday
because of the 4 a.m. start.
Yep. So once we got set in the rental here, we ran over there and did packet pickup, got our spike. We met up with our I say good friend. This first time we officially met, but our friend John with You Run You. Got to meet him and went out for dinner. And
got a good Italian pasta meal.
Yep.
Carb load.
Yeah. So that was really good. And then we came back to the house and then went to bed.
Yeah.
So
tried to get as much sleep as we could.
Yeah, exactly. So
which didn't really work out because if anyone else who's ever ran a race that they're thinking a lot about or anxious about, you just can't go to sleep. You're tossing and turning,
I did
and
not sleep well.
not the best night's sleep. But
No.
hey,
And there are two other people in the room here. We have Lauren, my wife, and Sydney, Ryan's wife. So they're going to be giving their experiences as well from a pacer standpoint. So the start line, let's talk about the start line. Pretty chill. There was not a lot of pop and circumstance really. Everybody's lined up. It was already warm in the morning.
Yeah.
And we were off on the trail. So
I like the size of this race.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the Forgotten Florida 100 that I did.
Mm-hmm.
The start line just felt a lot more homey, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You got less people around you, and everybody's families were right there. Like the Forgotten Florida, we had to get dropped off, right? No, the Wild Florida 50, which ran in the same area, we had to get dropped off, and the families couldn't really be there at the start.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of people for it.
Yeah.
So that was a nice difference to have our families right there.
Absolutely.
I think it's a lot different too, because this one started on a trail, whereas the 100-miler, you were on pavement for not a long time, but you started on pavement and ran along a road before you were actually able to get on a trail.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this one you're right in it.
Yep. So yeah, after we kicked it off, we made it to the first aid stop, which is actually a water drop. When that first section of trail is pretty easy, mild, not much to really write home about there.
It felt good. It felt like a normal morning run.
Yeah.
You're running in the dark, but if we ever do morning runs, which we do, I mean, it just felt normal.
Felt really good. Yep. Then we came in there, pretty quick aid stop. I had a system where, okay, I'll say this. For the first ultra, this was the first time that I fueled correctly. And I felt, I mean, other than the aches and pains, I felt good for the duration of the race as far as nutrition is concerned. So Lauren we did bottle swaps, and I pretty much consumed G1M or scratch the entire time. I had a couple tailwinds, kind of mix it up, and I would time the tailwinds on the longer sections because they're higher in carbs than the G1M. And that seemed to work really well. So Lauren just swapped my bottles, and they were actually able to meet us. Even though it was a water drop, we cleared it with the race director, and he was cool with having a truck at that first aid stop. So that was really nice to be able to see them.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yep. And then, so that would have been, remind me the name of that. What was the name of that aid station? I forgot.
Swift Creek.
Swift Creek. Yep. Made it into Swift Creek. Still no hiccups or anything. Then we headed to Camp Branch. Camp Branch, that section was started to get more technical.
Yeah. That's where the ups and downs started.
Yeah.
And to actually get to that aid station, you have to run down a gravel road that's, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of a mile.
Mm-hmm.
You have to run down this gravel road to the aid station and then run back to the trail when you're done there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a nice break from the technical stuff, but it's also just a mind-numbing gravel road.
Yeah.
But still being so early on in the race, it wasn't really bad.
Mm-hmm. So then from there, once we got into Camp Branch, what was y'all's perspective of us when we came into Camp Branch? We were about 13 miles in or so.
Your spirits were still really high in that morning time. I think just because it was dark, it was cool, you were fresh. Yeah, it was no complaints.
Yeah.
It looked really good.
Yeah, we didn't fall apart yet.
No.
Yeah.
I think personally, I was holding together better than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Coming off the Forgotten Florida 100 with some injuries, I wasn't really sure if I'd be able to hang with you and John on this.
Yeah.
And I was keeping up.
Yeah.
Which I was really happy about. I don't know if you were surprised, Sid. Were you?
Well, yeah, definitely, because you had such minimal training just trying to recover from the 100-miler. And I really didn't know if your knee was going to hold up because your few training runs that you were able to do, it was always giving you some issues.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. It did bother me initially, but kind of just ran through it and it mostly went away. So yeah, very thankful for that.
Yeah, I was honestly quite surprised too. I mean, it worked out to where we were kind of playing leapfrog. Like,
yeah,
I'd come into the aid station. And so it kind of just naturally happened. We just kind of all would, like, we'd get there maybe 5 minutes before you or 10 minutes at most aid stations.
Yeah, not that early on the race.
Not that early, but like,
but yeah,
the gist of the whole race was that. And then it was almost like we'd walk back out together.
Yeah.
So that was actually kind of nice to stay together as a group.
Well,
you and me, John.
I brought up on the trail a couple of times was like our differences in running styles showed out across this entire race.
Yeah.
Whereas you're more of the like just steady, consistent pace. I call it like a train. You're just chugging along, just doing your thing, and you just keep on moving. I'm more of I'll run faster, but then I stop and I walk.
Yeah.
So I'd like run ahead. I was like a yo-yo behind you guys, where I'd catch up with y'all, and then I'd walk for a bit, and you guys would drift away, and then I'd run faster and catch up. But that's just my preferred method. I think like naturally it feels better to me to run faster, and then the walk resets me, whereas you were able to just keep chugging along. Yeah. So it was cool to see that play out over this distance, and in the end, it all kind of worked out that way too.
It did, yeah. And then once we got out of Camp Branch, we headed to Swanee Springs. Swanee Springs was really nice because at that aid station, you're able to get to the trucks much easier. That first time coming into Swanee Springs was really nice because we were able to get to the trucks.
Yeah.
Had just a real short chair time.
Got to cross the cool graffiti bridge.
Yep, cross the bridge.
Swanee Springs did smell a little like sulfur.
It did, yeah.
But no, it was really nice being able to get to our trucks and have access to everything we brought.
Yep. And then the part that was kind of a kicker leaving Swanee Springs was the matrix says it was 13 and a half or 14 miles.
14, yeah.
And it was starting to get hot. It wasn't like crazy hot, but it started to get hot. So we're like, okay, yeah, we'll be good. We'll take off, do this long section. That's where the race really kind of set in, that leaving that Swanee Springs to Holt Creek.
Yeah, I don't think any of us were looking forward to that.
No, we weren't really looking forward to it, but the kicker was that we're like, okay, it's half marathon-ish. And we got on that part of the trail, and John, the guy we were running with, he completely ran out of water.
Yeah.
And we still had another 5-6 miles on paper till we got to Holt Creek. And that was a big gut check. Like, I'm almost out of water. John's completely out of water. And we were kind of like bouncing back and forth during that section.
Yeah, that was the section where you guys really pulled away from me.
Yeah.
I ran with you guys for 3 miles maybe, and then you guys kind of drifted off. I was starting to be affected by the heat.
Yeah.
I think more than you. Your job does a really good job at acclimating you to the heat more than me. So you were definitely more prepared in that sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, naturally we work in the heat and stuff like that and the gear and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. That might be a contributing factor.
I think so.
Sure.
I mean, because I felt like the heat was getting to me long before it ever touched you.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I can imagine other than just your ability to train the past couple months. But your gear workouts, man, that's got to be some good heat training.
It is. Yeah,
and they had record highs for the race too.
Yeah.
So that's just another factor. It wasn't just hot. It was record high temperatures.
Coming off of a record low temperatures 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now we're running this, which you were with me for that too. So we both were in for quite the shock of record low to record high in just over a month.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is crazy. Then 1 year, a few months difference to have 2 races that were super high, super low. Like, that's just insane.
Yeah.
And they preface that at the beginning of the race. They're like, it is going to be hot. And even the race directors were kind of nervous about sending people out in that heat. Now, it'd been different if it was sent out in that heat with everybody having had chance to train in the heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
If this was a summertime race, that would make sense.
This is the first hot day really in this area.
Yeah.
And I want to say the ambient temps were 91?
I think that's
I didn't look at the morning of the race.
I heard 89, but either way, I mean, near 90, and then humidity wasn't terrible, thankfully. In the evening, it definitely came back.
Yeah, it did.
But yeah, so that 14-mile stretch was rough, and we knew that going into it. None of us were really looking forward to it, but the aid station matrix that the race directors had provided also had, I don't know if it was an error, if it was on purpose, but that section was on there twice because we had to run it out and back, and it had 2 different numbers.
Yeah, same distance, same trail.
And I guess none of us thought that was weird. We thought, oh, maybe there's like an extra segment on the way back that you have to get. But I think the way back said almost 16 miles. It was 15 and some change. Yeah. I think that was the correct distance. The 14-mile that was on there was incorrect.
I think it was intentional.
I think it might have been because it's the Florida Death Race and all. But yeah. Anyway, so that was not great, not knowing that it was going to be longer. And then with the heat and everything, Go ahead.
You guys also accidentally made it longer on yourselves.
Well,
we did that.
That was
Don't
later.
forget though.
Yeah.
That was the first leg out there.
Yeah. But
Yep.
we had already ran out of water long before that.
I'm just saying though, you guys made it
But
quite a bit longer on yourselves.
the race director did do two things during that segment that really helped everybody out. Number one, they added an extra water station
Okay. So
on that segment. And number two, they added time to all the cutoffs for people to finish.
Yeah.
But that water thing, we had all run out of water.
Everybody was out of water
By like mile 9, maybe,
Yeah.
of this 14 to 16 mile trek.
What was wild was I was just a touch ahead of John. John was out of water, and he was expressing that he goes, "I need some water bad." And we saw another 5-ish miles. If you notice, we're saying ish on everything because there's nothing set distance-wise. You just run until you see civilization.
Even your Florida Death Race shirt says 74-ish.
Yeah, 74-ish miles. But I was just a touch ahead of John, and I round the corner on this trail, and I see a Coca-Cola bottle. It looked like it was floating in the leaves, but it was on a table, of course. And I'm like, no way. And I came out and I said, "Oh, look at this." And I just thought like John and Ryan are going to be so stoked to see this.
Yeah.
And John comes out and he's like, "Oh, thank you, Lord." He just said like a nice prayer right there. He was just so thankful for that water. And it's a convenient place to just drop because you have access to somebody come pick you up.
Yeah.
And there's a place for you to sit down. And there's a table there with water, Coke, ginger ale.
Yeah.
And so,
I think that spot probably claimed some people on the way back.
Yeah, 100%. And that was a godsend. Like,
yeah,
I called it the trail fairies.
Yeah.
Like the trail fairies provided.
I was behind you guys, you and John. I was in last place of our group of 3 there, like I said. And I was on the phone with Sydney at the moment telling her I'm out of water. These next 4 miles, I thought I had 4 miles. It ended up being like 6. But these next 4 miles are going to be rough. I was like, I'm just going to run through it as much as I can because I figure if I get there faster, that'll be better than taking longer.
Yeah.
And I'm literally on the phone with her, and I come around the corner of the trail, and I see the orange things, the water jugs, and then I see you and John, and I was like, "Oh, praise God, hallelujah, this is wonderful."
Yeah.
And then you guys were excited. You're like, "The trail fairies brought us water." And, I got off the phone and got refilled, and that was outstanding.
Yeah.
It was just the boost that we needed.
Yeah, for sure. So
physically needed.
The worst part of that whole section was when you leave that little water drop and you run another 3 miles or so. And then the last mile and a half is this burn, like open, they called it the prairie, but it's a whole area that got burned. And so there was very little trees.
Yeah.
And you're running through ash, basically. It was like a fairly fresh burn.
I kind of liked it.
Oh, I hate it.
Except for being exposed. I liked it because I could see you guys up ahead. You guys
That's true,
were a little farther ahead of me still then. And I could see y'all. Actually, you were ahead of me. John was hanging with me at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see off in the distance for a bit. And it was a nice change.
Yeah, it was.
In my mind.
That's true. That is true.
But it was very exposed.
Yeah, I felt like, you're running through ash basically and just this rough, gnarly, open, very little trail. It's just.
This trail is the same trail that they do the Wild Florida runs on. And I would say that's a good name for the trail, Wild Florida. Like the whole trail felt wild. There was some sections that I was like, nobody's been through this in years.
Yeah.
Briars and everything where the trail should be. You're just running through that stuff.
Yeah.
It was definitely not all perfect and manicured.
Yeah.
But that's what kind of made it fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming into Holt Creek.
Oh, wait. Oh, before we got to Holt Creek, we followed the leader, and the leader led us astray. No, I'm just kidding. We all got off course somehow. We all got back in a group together and ended up running down a road instead of the trail at one point where the trail crossed this road. We didn't see the trail across the road. We just saw the road and ran down that. We ended up at a gate, and Nate goes, "I don't see any markings."
Yeah.
And I pulled up my watch and I said, "That's because we're way off course."
Yeah. That was a gut check for sure.
That was. I immediately tried to stay positive because I could see John was hurting. And I really wanted him to just, make it through that. But yeah, we had to run back, and that added like 3/4 of a mile to our journey. That one sucked.
Yeah, it did. It was, I remember specifically looking at John and say, John, have you ever, because John is a very seasoned ultra runner.
Yeah. John just came off of a 150 miler.
Yeah.
Like
2 weeks ago.
less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So he was still recovering from that. To come and do this with us was, I mean, a feat right there for sure.
Yeah.
I wish he was in here so we could get his side of the story, but we'll have to do a virtual sometime. But yeah, he just got done with a big scrub 150 and
beast.
Yeah. And he had the fluctuation in temperatures. He had like 30 degrees and then hot during the day. It was like this wide range of weather. So, I mean, that messes with you big time. So, but yeah, so once we got through the prairie, we came into Holt Creek. That's when the race really kind of set in for me. Like it really, I was like, ooh, this is starting to hurt. I was 37 miles or so in. How did things look coming in to Holt Creek?
Well, that was the first time that, you didn't look as great as you did. The spirits were a lot lower. You were feeling it. It was evident.
Yeah.
So, that was for sure.
I didn't have the best attitude.
When the hard, I guess, started.
Yeah. I didn't have the best attitude.
How'd I look coming in there, babe?
I thought it was funny because Nate comes in and he's like, yeah, Ryan's like right behind me. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sitting here waiting and waiting. I'm like, Nate, he was not right behind you. He might have been at one point, but I'm sitting there waiting and waiting. And you came in.
I stopped to pee right before that.
That makes sense. Must be nice having a bathroom at your disposal. And you came in and you were looking a lot better than I expected. It still, that was how I felt.
Yeah.
Pretty much every aid station.
Our expectations were so low for me going into this.
I think it helped, if anything.
Yeah,
but then I also
the whole race was.
I knew you could do it, but
the whole race was a good surprise.
Yeah, but I mean, it was definitely getting warm. Like we were getting warm just standing around.
I think that's the first time I got an ice bandana.
Yes,
it was glorious.
Nate tried to tell you because Nate had already been using them. I think and he tried to tell you, and you wanted it just for the 5K to go and complete the turnaround. And then you were like, oh, I'll take another one.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Another please.
From that whole aid station, you had to run like a mile and a half out, mile and a half back-ish to the actual turnaround point. So just a little 5K, and that's what we did. We left Holt, did our little 5K, came back to that same aid station. And yes, I took more ice because ahead of us was the 16, 15, whatever-ish mile long section.
Well, Lauren and I, we caught y'all coming through before the little out and back. Got y'all taken care of. Y'all went back out. Lauren and I were like, okay, well, we've got, a 5K to get to the car, get taken care of things. And then Nate calls while we're at the car.
I'm sitting there filling bottles, and he calls me. He's like, okay, we're here. I'm like, what? Like, okay, we're coming right now. Okay.
That was lost in translation.
Yeah. I said, Lauren, what can I carry for you?
Like,
I've got my stuff.
They are cooking. Like, they were like,
no.
We're taking 12 minutes.
What did you tell her?
I was telling her what I wanted.
You were like, I don't remember what you said, but I took it as like, I'm here. I'm waiting for you. Where are you? Like with my.
That's how you took it?
That's how
because then Lauren even goes, okay, well, we're at the car. We'll be right there.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right, well, let's get this show on the road. We're trying to fill water bottles.
15 minutes.
Barely filled the bottles. Yeah. I'm like, Sydney, here, grab this. Like, run down. I'm like, I'll come back for ice. Like, yeah. And then we walked down there and we're like, crickets. Where are you?
Oh. That's funny. I don't know what I said exactly, but I think was that a spot with bad service?
Yes.
That's what it was.
That aid station was so in and out. And so you would say like, okay, I want fresh water. And then you would go out. And then I would come back. Okay, so you want fresh water. What else do you want? And they're like, okay, I want fresh water. And I'm like, you would go out and I'm like, okay, I got the fresh water. What else do you want? It was just so in and out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm just taking it all.
I was starting to get needy. I'm like, I just want fresh water.
Yeah.
Because I had so much salt.
Ice water.
I just wanted cold water.
I knew I was doing it on salt when I got to that point when I was like, I just want straight water.
Yeah.
And
that's kind of a good gauge.
It was good. It was good to know that, like, all right, I'm salted up. Let's hydrate with water now.
Yeah. Get the volume. And it's like a balance.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you need the salt because you're sweating salt, but you also need the volume. And so I pretty much have found that if you stay on the salt until you crave fresh water, then pound the water. And then once you pee again, hit the salt. Yeah. Is what I found for me.
I don't like the way my mouth feels after I drink the element a lot of times when I'm running. it just feels like my mouth's dry.
Yeah.
So I normally do a couple sips of Element and then like one small sip of water every time just to cleanse my mouth. But that kind of keeps me drinking both at the same time. And that seems to help me a bunch.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of times where I came to the aid station. I knew I needed some salt. So I was like, give me a cold hoist.
Yeah.
And oh man, I just chugged that. And it was like I was a new man.
Mm-hmm. It's just so hot. Like, it was miserably hot for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about my poor attitude. So this is one of the lessons.
No, I guess this happened at the same time. I thought you were jumping ahead, but no. At Holt, our second time, we kind of took more time there. You changed socks. And
I changed
stuff.
socks because my shoes. So I went from my Speedlands to my Ultras, and I ran about 20 miles in the Ultras. And during that time, my socks were saturated with water.
Yeah.
And that's when my first blister developed because my socks were wet. I don't care how good a socks or whatever kind of socks you have. If your feet are wet and you're doing that, you're going to blister.
Yeah.
So keeping dry feet is so important.
Suffer up did an experiment yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
Nate tried changing shoes and socks. Ryan over here ran in the same socks and shoes the entire time, which I would say was not the best decision.
Yeah, well, I mean, but when you did your Forgotten Florida, you went to your Lone Peaks, and that actually hurt you.
That's true.
Because your Lone Peaks had like zero cushion.
That's true. I also switched to them at a bad time.
Yeah.
When we were on that hard pack.
Yeah. But yeah, and when I pulled my socks off, they were pruny and all the tape came off my toes. And I saw the condition of my feet, and they were okay. I had one blister on my big toe. So I just retaped, Vaseline, new socks, put my Speedlands back on because those are able to dry. Best decision.
Yeah.
So that was actually a good tactics call.
Let them dry out.
My shoes were still wet, weren't they? You put them out in the sun? Yeah. So they were still wet. That's how wet they were.
Dang.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I had a kind of a bad attitude because I was starting to hurt. And I told Lauren, I said, when we get back to Swanee Springs, I just want to see the kids because I am not going to be, what did I say?
You said,
I'm going to be in a bad mood.
I'm going to be in a bad mood.
I'm not going to be in good spirits.
Yeah, something like that.
I just want to see the kids.
I was just accepting it.
You were telling Lauren this, but I was sitting next to you and
like,
I heard you say this and I looked over at you like, what'd you just say? And you're like, I'm just saying. I know it's going to suck. And I was like, dude, that's the worst mentality you can have.
It is the worst mentality, but I was also just like, I don't know. The way I think about it is I know it's going to suck. And so when I just accept the fact that it's going to suck, I just immediately click into. Well, yeah, but then you had Ryan over here. Like, let's just be honest. You were not prepared. Like, you were prepared. But you just had this whimsical, just kind of.
I wouldn't say I was not prepared.
No. That's the wrong word. That's the wrong word.
We were winging it so much more.
There we go. That's
like
better.
we even came into it. I told Ryan, I'm like, I feel like we're forgetting something, or I feel like we didn't prepare as well. But
that's because she felt that way because it was true. We did not prepare as well as even the Wild Florida 50 that I did, but most recently that 100-miler, I like overanalyzed everything, made sure. I mean, I had bags made up like you did. It was just. I went above and beyond. I had a list for every aid station of what I wanted or would potentially want there. I don't know. I stressed over it. Is what I felt like. And this race, I told Sydney, I said, I'm going in with zero craps given. Like, I'm just going to go run. I have low expectations. I want to finish the thing, but I don't know how my body's going to hold up. So I'm not going to like set a time. Forgotten Florida, you guys all tried to tell me I should just focus on finishing. And I had this time set in my head of 24 hours. And then if I couldn't do that, 30 hours. And then if I couldn't do that, then just finish it.
Yeah.
Well, what ended up happening? I went for 33 hours. And that was a huge mental hurdle I had to get over in the race.
Yeah.
This one, I didn't have that because I didn't place that hurdle there myself. And so it was just, let's just go run the thing and
see what happens
and see how it goes.
Yeah. It's funny because we saw the back of your trunk, Lauren and I said, do they have anything in their trunk?
And we're looking at their trunk. We're like, Man,
Did they bring
there's
anything?
nothing in there.
Good thing I have extras. I hope Ryan's good.
We did use a lot of your ice. So
Oh, good.
That's
good.
appreciated.
I did tell Sydney yesterday. She asked me if we had enough of something. I was like, if we don't, Nate does.
Yeah, well,
That's
the
true.
one time I don't come prepared, it's going to be like, oh, no, Nate didn't bring extra.
Somebody's got to bring it. You
Yeah.
brought the ibuprofen, and that was the
Oh,
godsend
good.
last
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ibuprofen's perfect. So,
It was so
But-
much smoother though this time. It was
Yeah,
so much. I felt so much more at ease. Like I would call you, or you would call me and give me like, hey, what do you need? Especially if we had to bring stuff
Yeah.
to you instead of you coming to us.
Which that was a luxury on this one. Forgotten Florida, the cell service was a lot more spotty.
Definitely.
This one, we had pretty great cell service the
there's
whole
a couple
time on the
dead
trail.
spots, but not bad.
I didn't experience any of those dead spots.
Yeah.
I must not have been trying to call then. But like every time she called me or I tried to call her, we talked, no problem, and that was nice.
Yeah, it was for sure.
Granted, it's a trail run. I know it's not about cell service.
No, but it is nice
handy
to be able to
crew.
call or text your crew.
Yeah.
And just say like, hey, I'm going to want this. I can have it ready for you.
Yep.
Instead of scramble. But I'll say this too. There was a gal that her crew had these little pull-out drawers with all the stuff in drawers. That is awesome. I think I'm going to adopt that.
I think I'm going to adopt some form of that so that we can just throw that in the car and not have to like gather all the supplies every time before a race.
Yeah.
That's the biggest benefit to me is like packing is just easier.
Yeah.
Well, from a crew standpoint too, because you had made up all these baggies of what you may or may not want
Yeah.
at the aid stations, but you only took maybe half of that stuff,
Yeah,
or it
'cause
was
it
changed
changed.
last minute.
That's the same thing I did on the
So,
100-miler.
Yeah, it's
The
like
things that I said I wanted, I would only take like half.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
or I have
having
stuff
the
left over from the last one.
having the ability to just grab something on the fly,
Yeah.
and make it because you don't know what you're gonna want. That
Mhm.
was
Yeah. I'll say this on hot races, things I liked: watermelon.
Oh yeah.
Watermelon
Watermelon was
was
great.
awesome. Oranges. I loved having the oranges. The orange later in the night.
Mhm.
And the blueberries and strawberries were like, that fresh fruit was just like, it's so refreshing. And it's good, quick sugar and fiber. Although I didn't need any fiber.
The watermelon was fantastic.
Yeah.
And the things I was pulling from the aid stations themselves were the quesadillas.
Yeah.
Cheese and bacon quesadillas. One of them had avocado quesadillas.
Mm.
All those were just good snacks
Yeah.
that sat well, fueled me
Yeah.
good, I think.
Absolutely.
I think one thing I need to do better on is not putting too much stuff in my pack and not putting too little in there.
Yeah.
Like, I got to find that balance because
Yeah.
there was a lot of times where I would load up on snacks earlier in the race and then barely eat like half of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I just carried all this weight for nothing.
Yeah.
So I think knowing that like those first couple of segments we had were like a 6 and a 7 mile segment, I probably didn't need to put as many snacks in my pack as I
Yeah.
did. It was silly. I loaded up like I was going on that 14-mile section.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
It's nice to have it when you need it, but
It is nice.
Yeah.
It's just, you got to find that balance. And
Yeah.
I think that just takes some practice,
Uh-huh.
which we're working on.
for sure. So yeah, I had a cruddy attitude leaving Holt Creek, but I was also locked in. Like, I'm just gonna. My body was. I was still able to run, which I was thankful for.
Yeah.
And not fast, but at that point, I was still running like a 12:30 to 13 pace, and I ran pretty much that whole section. I would walk the technical sections, but I ran pretty much that whole thing coming into Swanee.
Dang.
And so when I came into Swanee, I was
You're out
Okay.
of water though.
I was out of
Totally
water,
Yeah.
even though I stopped at the water drop.
depleted. Yeah.
I was completely gone. Let's talk about that. So the last 3.5-ish miles, I did not have any water.
Yeah.
None. My lips were starting to stick together.
I think that bit you in the butt on the next
It
segment.
did. 100%.
Which there was nothing that you could have done
Yeah.
for that. But that didn't affect you then. Like you said, you were able to run that whole section.
Mhm.
But later, I think it definitely got you.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, that was also, that during that segment was the hottest part of the day.
It was.
We left Holt Creek at probably 3 o'clock or something. I don't know. I remember looking at my clock while we were on that
remember.
segment, and it was 4 o'clock when I looked at it, and I was like, yep, that's why it feels so hot, because it is. And Sydney, before I left Holt Creek, she had asked me, do you want to take an extra 1 or 2
should have.
bottles?
I should have.
I should have.
Yeah.
Because I said that on the way there.
Sydney sitting here like, I told you so.
I said that on the way there that I would do that. And then I was like, no, with that water station now, it should be fine. Well, with it being hotter and later in the race, I was not moving as fast as I was on the
Yeah.
way out, going back. So I got to the water station, refilled, but then the 9 or 10 miles after the water station, I too drank all my water.
Yep.
And yeah, about 3 miles out from the next aid station, I was out of water too. And I kept daydreaming. I was like, maybe there's going to be, there was a section of road about 2 miles from the aid station.
Yeah.
A section of dirt road. And I was daydreaming. There were some houses on that road. I was like, maybe there's going to be somebody out there like hosing down their car or watering flowers. And I can just ask them to spray me with the hose and get some water out of their hose.
Oh, I had the same thought.
And I was like, that would be awesome. That would be wonderful. And I was like, Lord, please let there be somebody washing their car.
Yeah.
And there was nobody washing their car, but my prayers did get answered. When I came out onto that road, there was a guy a couple hundred yards in front of me walking, another runner, and I ran up alongside him and said, "Hey, how you doing, man? You need anything?" And he's like, "I'm good. I got somebody coming to get me." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm calling it." And I said, "Well, that sucks. Are they bringing water by chance?"
Yeah. Oh, good for you.
And he said, "Yeah." So he told me what to look out for, a truck coming around the curve, and about 30 seconds later, the truck comes, and
Awesome.
I stopped him, and I was able to get a water and a coconut water from them, and I mean, ice cold water. It was the perfect thing, and I was like, "Thank you guys so much. You guys are a prayer answered."
Yeah.
And my last 2 miles were not bad because I was able to get some extra water in. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you call that cheating, but it was an
At that point,
opportunity.
honestly, it was survival, man.
It was an opportunity I
It
couldn't
was
pass up.
no joke. Like,
Yeah.
for those of you who haven't ran on the Florida Trail, the soil just has a way of like heating you up. There's no breeze.
No.
It's
There was no wind.
no wind, and it was just very exposed. And that trail just has a way of like trapping the heat, and it's just like you're in a sauna.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
When
unbearable.
about at mile 50, I knew I was low on water and I knew I was about to run out. I had a few sips left maybe, and I got into a dark place in my head that time. I literally sat on the side of the trail for a couple minutes. I just sat down and I was like, this sucks. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to run out of water and I've still got distance to go. I was like, I should have taken the water like Sydney said.
Yeah.
And your ankle had started giving you some
Oh, yeah,
issues
yeah.
on that strip too.
Yeah, that's true. In that section, I got a little pain in my ankle that was not helping. But it was a weird pain because it felt better when I ran, hurt more when I walked, but it was so flipping hot, I couldn't run very far.
Yeah.
So I was balancing this run walk of like pain or heat exhaustion. Which one do you want?
Which one do I want? Yeah.
Uh,
That's very true.
But yeah, I literally thought I was going to get heat exhaustion. And that's when I sat down. But again, man, like the timing, God's timing, I got a text from Sydney while I was sitting there. She didn't look at the thing, like our tracker, and see that I was sitting still. She just happened to text me and she was like, "You're doing great. Keep going. I know you're hurting, but keep moving." And that was the boost that I needed to put my poles in the ground and stand up again. And then like 2 minutes later, I got a text from my dad, who also was not watching the tracker. It just so happened.
That's cool.
He texted me and he was like, "You're two-thirds of the way there, son. Keep going."
That's awesome.
I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I needed that right then.
That's really cool. But yeah, it was definitely a point of survival, essentially. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, but I mean, I found a dude in the dark and he was like throwing up.
Yeah.
And in a really bad way. His electrolytes are all out of whack. He couldn't eat anything, couldn't stomach anything, like just really in a bad way. So, but yeah, I was probably, I mean, when I came into Swanee Springs, I sat in the chair for a minute. I told Lauren, I was like, I need a big morale boost. So I was right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was cynical, but I was right.
Predicted what was going to happen.
Yeah. And so,
Or you made it happen.
Or I made it happen. I normally preach, don't speak truth to, like, always speak truth. Don't necessarily think negatively.
Yeah. Words have power.
Yeah, they do. And so I messed up there and I let that slip when I'm normally one to be like, this is going to be great. This is going to be an awesome section. And I was not looking forward to it.
You know what I was thinking about early on in the race when my body was starting to hurt, like early on in the race with my knee and everything? I remembered something that Chad Wright, the 3 of 7 podcast, I don't know if he said it on the podcast or in a YouTube video one time, but he was talking about his training with the SEALs and different stuff. Anyways, he was talking about how when you're hurting, don't even talk about it. Don't give it a voice.
Yeah.
And like when somebody asks you how you doing, I'm feeling excellent.
Yeah.
Whether you're hurting all over or not. And I kept thinking about that. So every aid station I would come in, so it's like, how you doing? How you feeling? Feeling good, feeling great. Like I was hurting from dang near the beginning. But man, not giving it a voice, it really does help.
It does.
So thank Chad Wright for that.
That's it. And I know better. I just had a bad attitude. I know better.
Well, that was a really long stretch. Like
was,
even
but-
us
Yeah.
just sitting there waiting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the sun was going down. People were coming and going. Granted, those were people locals mostly, but and like the time just kept ticking and ticking. And I think we got to the point where we kind of just stopped watching where you guys were for a little bit. But I'll tell you what, Lauren gave you quite the setup coming in there.
Yeah, she did.
She had that table out.
Honestly,
She had
like, but for
all
you,
the
For
options.
you to say that, though, you're like, okay, I'm going to need a big morale boost on this next time. Like, I mean, maybe it wasn't the best thing for you, but for me, I was like, man, this is great. Like, I've got this. I know he's going to want this. I've got music going.
Yeah.
I've got
You had a
all the
rhythm
things
going.
laid out. Like, we're going to call the kids. And so that was really helpful to hear it from you, because it's one thing to see you hurting, but yet not know how to help you unless you know specifically what you want.
That is true.
I know I could try all the different things,
You
but
killed that aid station.
to know.
I brought the table partly for her so she could like prep and lay stuff out if she wanted to, a little fold-up table. She what do you want? I said, I don't even know. Just put it all out in front of me. And that way when I see it, I'll know if I want it.
Yeah.
And you had that thing. It was great.
It looked like I was selling food out there.
Yeah. Tailgating at its
Is this a
finest.
secondary aid station?
Yeah.
Exactly.
She had all the fruit out, like everything was like ready to go. I did the massage gun. Like
Yeah, had the mat
great.
out, had the chair, got the ice
Got
ready.
to see the kids.
Yeah, called the
was good.
kids.
I needed that.
I also called the kids on that section
Swanee?
before I got to the aid station. I called them shortly before I met the guy who got me water. Yeah, I just called my parents and they had the kids there, so
That's cool.
got to talk with them, and all my kids were super motivational.
That's all. Yeah.
We know you can do it, Dad. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm glad you do.
I'm glad you feel that way. Yeah. There's always every ultra you do. There's always a low, and then if you stick with the low, you always come out on a
Followed
high
by a
somewhere.
high.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, we left. So I came in. I was probably I don't know. I probably spent 20 minutes at that aid station, longer than I would have liked.
By
You think
that-
it's
I
longer?
don't think it was that long.
You think it was about 15?
10 to 15.
10 to 15? Oh, it's quicker
15
than I thought.
tops. Yeah.
By that point in the race, you were like 2 miles ahead of me, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you pretty much stayed that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But we passed each other on the graffiti bridge
Yeah,
right there.
yeah,
As
that
I
was
was
cool.
coming into the
Yeah.
aid station, you were coming out, and it was like, "What's up, man? Hey,
Hey. So
we got that a couple times."
yeah, we did. It was like, honestly, the timing worked out really well.
Yeah.
How was Swanee Springs for you coming into that one?
It was good. Sydney saved my butt big time. Aid station was normal. I mean, did my stuff there. I went to leave the aid station. I had left my phone in the chair, and so I made it just past those steps, the steps that you had to go back up to get on the trail. And I forget what I was gonna do. I put music on or something. I don't know. Look for my phone.
Well, Mark
And-
had called you while you were at that aid station, so maybe you were trying to call him back.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, Mark had called me, so I think I was gonna call Mark back. Thanks for the pep talk, Mark. But anyways, my phone was nowhere to be found, and I was like, dang it. I need to call Sid to get my phone. Wait a second. I need my phone.
Yeah.
And so I started shouting. I turned around and started walking back towards the aid station, but I was like, Sydney, just shouting. And the people around me are looking, they're like, who's Sydney? And I'm like, "Just ignore me.
P. Sherman 4211. What's that name?
Oh, but she actually heard me shouting at her, and she tried to call me and realized that I didn't have my phone.
I thought I was going delirious, though. I'm like looking around because I think I was mid sentence.
Yeah.
And I even stopped and I was like looking around. I'm like, okay, I'm tripping.
Well, you looked at me, you're like, I just feel like I'm forgetting something.
Yeah.
I don't have that feeling.
Yeah.
And then it was like right away.
Well, so Sydney brings me my phone, but then she really saves my butt and she goes, hey, are you going to need a light on this section? And I was like, a light? Like, it's still daylight. I mean, what do you mean? And she's like, you got 7 miles or whatever to the next aid station. And I go, doing math in my head real quick. Like, oh yeah, wait, what time's sunset? Oh yeah, I'm going to run out of daylight for sure. And so you ran back to the car, got me my light and battery pack and a phone charger.
And your phone.
And my phone, yeah. And yeah, that was a saving grace because I would have been without a light. I ended up being without a light anyways later, but
And we taped up your ankle, which hopefully helped.
oh yeah, well at that aid station we did tape up my ankle. That was before I forgot my phone and stuff. But yeah, that was I don't know what you did to my ankle.
TikTok for the win.
Okay, well,
How to KT tape the pain in the top of the ankle. Got it.
wow. Well, it worked.
Way to go, Sid.
If we can do that again today, that might be good. No, it worked great. I mean, like I said, I don't know what you did, but little miracle hands made it feel a lot better.
Well, I
and
prayed
was
about it
able-
first off.
Well, that certainly helped right there. But yeah, so taping the ankle was a huge win at that, and then you got me my light that I almost forgot, and sure enough, about 2.5 miles before the next aid station, it got dark, and I needed my light.
Oh, and it was dark.
It was dark. But then coming into the next aid station, or just before I got to that aid station, that was which one was that, guys?
Camp Branch, I think.
Camp Branch with the gravel road again. That gravel road that you have to run out and back. Basically, right where you get on that gravel road to run towards the aid station, I met Nate again.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, dude,
Yeah.
you're still ahead.
And I said to you, so when I came into Camp Branch, the crew there, the volunteers at the aid station, they were like, yeah, you've got 19 people behind you. And I'm like, oh, man. I'm like near the back of the pack.
Yeah.
And I said, well, how many are in front? I ain't racing this thing, man. I'm just curious. And they said, you're probably 11, 12, somewhere in there. And I
They
was
were
like,
spot on.
no way. And at that time, I was toying with top 10.
Yeah.
Which ended up not happening. But
Close.
I was like, no way. That's crazy. They said we will have about a 40 to 50% attrition on this race.
Dang.
It way so many dropouts.
Yeah. I
And
remember
then
you telling me that.
That was honestly a big boost because I'm like,
Yeah.
sweet.
I could see
Oh,
that
you got
on
a
your
bunch of
face.
quitters.
At that point, we
I
got 14 miles left. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we got half marathon left. It's gonna suck, but we just get it done now.
Nate got some jerky, and I think he was really excited
Yeah.
about
Some
it.
jerky.
Oh,
We came into the aid station and you heard that there's only like 10 or 11 in front of you. And so you're getting your stuff ready. And I'm like, look, there's the Sprite jerky. You're like, oh, yes, the jerky. Brand new snack for the day. Hadn't had it before.
I was
So
getting tired of eating all
excited.
the same food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was something I want to talk about. This whole time I was eating like solid foods.
Mhm.
You had said earlier you were fueling with Scratch, Tailwinds,
Yep.
and G1M.
G1M.
I
Yeah.
didn't take any of that stuff.
Oh, really?
None. Like I'm a solid foods guy, and it served me well.
Good.
But that's what I train with and run with
Yeah.
normally. So if you're listening and you're getting into this, don't feel like you have to do one or the other. Train with both.
Yeah.
See what sits better. I've used Tailwinds before in training, and it did work. But I've just always preferred eating real food.
Yeah.
As long as I have liquids to wash it down.
Mhm.
But that allows me to have liquids and food and not just liquid food.
Yeah.
And I feel like mentally that's better for me.
Yeah.
But I thought that was
Mhm.
another difference between us that
Sure.
was like, they both work.
And I'll be honest, I think that the G1M worked better. So,
Really?
yeah. So the Tailwinds is higher in calories,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also higher in carbs.
Okay.
So it's 80 grams of carbs per packet,
Jeez.
which is a lot.
That's like a full meal.
And then some.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot. So I strategically put those in on the long section.
Yeah.
And that worked out really well. But the G1M is only 20 carbs.
Oh, wow.
So it's 20, and so is Scratch. So you got 20, and a gel is usually 20. So to hit the 80 to 100 carbs an hour, it forced me to eat different foods. And so that worked out really well to where I'm getting some carbs to kind of like keep that steady.
Yeah.
But then when I needed a spike, I would just hit something else, and then I'd try to space the food out. That seemed to work the best for my stomach. Because that Tailwinds, after a while, when you drink only Tailwinds, they didn't mess with my gut, but it just wasn't as sustainable as this one.
Yeah.
And the G1M and stuff has sodium in it, so I don't have to hit the elements as hard.
Mm-hmm. I think I did take one gel on the run, and it was, I don't remember where I was at. I think it was on the 14-mile stretch going out.
Yeah.
I was feeling depleted, and it took one Humagel, and it was great.
Yeah.
And I thought about taking another one on the last section, but the only gel I had left was one with caffeine.
Yeah.
I was like, I really don't want to take this right now because it's so late, and like when we get done with this thing, I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't want to be up all night. Which it probably would have been fine. They don't have tons of caffeine in them.
No, it's like 100 milligrams.
Is it that much? I thought it was even less than that.
Is it? Oh, maybe it's
I
less.
think it's only like 25.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like
It's 100 calories, but yeah.
25 milligrams of caffeine. So it probably would have been fine. But anyways, I think next time I would carry a few more of those because there was definitely times where I felt depleted on food. And I think that exactly what you're saying, like having that much carbs, I don't think I was feeling quite right.
Yeah.
And I would eat like a fruit twist or something, like a fruit roll-up kind of deal. And that would get me going, but it would take a few seconds. But yeah, I ate a peach on the trail at one point. That was
nice.
You had a bunch of peanut butter sandwiches?
I had peanut butter sandwiches. The last one, by the way, I ate like half of it and then threw it in the woods.
Well, it had been in the cooler literally all day.
It was hot because it had been in my pack for like
Hot
6
and
months.
sweaty. No, it was in a bag.
Yeah. The bagels were good. Also not great when it's like 90 degrees though and has been in your pack all day, like warm bread. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
The bagels, such good carbs and like energy. But at that moment, I was like, I don't want this. Put it back in the bag.
Yeah.
But when I got one out of the cooler later, it was perfect.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just wanted to note our
fueling
differences.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I came into that aid station and you and I had chatted briefly on the road there. You told me about the attrition rate and it did the same for me. It kind of gave me a little boost of like, well, number one, we're almost done with this thing.
Yeah.
Number two, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. We're not doing as bad as we thought.
Not so bad.
Yeah.
And number three, you had told me about another guy that we ran with that you didn't think was going to finish the
I thought
thing.
it was going to drop.
Yeah. And honestly, that kind of motivated me a little bit because that same dude I ran with on the 100-miler and he dropped from that race. I didn't know that until it was all done and over with. But I was like, well, he didn't finish that one. I finished that one. He's not going to finish this one. I'll finish this one.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, dude. But
that was at Swanee Springs. And dude, if you're listening, because I told you about our podcast, I mean this with love. But when I saw him at Swanee Springs, he was there when I came in and then I left before him. And he was kind of milling around the aid station. He looked like he was really hurting.
Yeah.
I said, come on, dude, you ready to go? And he's like, 10 more minutes. And I said, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
There was 4 or 5 people. They were all in the chair. And they were all, I said, don't let that chair win. Don't die in the chair. You know, like that's another common thing you hear in ultras. And a couple guys are like, the chair is going to win this one. And I'm like, no,
mindset,
you're so close. You're so close.
Yeah,
Just
from
get
Swanee Springs back, we had 21 miles.
Yeah.
Which it's not like so close. But after you just ran over 50, it's like, oh, you're on the home stretch. Just get it.
But with that too, this course is not forgiving for extraction.
No.
Like once you're committed, you're committed.
Like that long stretch. I think you said something to me about like how you thought people were going to drop. And I was like, where are they going to go? You have to finish it.
I tell you,
once you finish it,
fall asleep on the side of the trail and die. So,
anyways,
yeah.
So hearing that, and he had dropped from the Forgotten Florida. He had told me earlier in the race when I caught up with that guy, he had said that he dropped from that one because he got hypothermia, which is understandable. It was very cold. But I remember telling you when you said he wasn't going to finish this one, I was like, well, he can't hack the cold or the heat, apparently. And again, it was just like a little boost to you and I. So if you are listening, Matt, sorry, man. Like, we say this in love. Like, I'm glad that he did end up finishing. He ended up finishing, and
which is awesome.
I'm stoked for him for that. But you know, had you quit or even not quitting, you were a morale boost for us out there.
Oh yeah,
you knowing that, like, hey, we can hack the cold and the heat.
Yeah,
we'll get this thing done.
Absolutely.
So, anyways,
No, you're good. And then we'll just kind of like fast. So got out of Camp Branch. You went into Camp Branch. Then we went to the final aid station at Swift Creek. Coming into Swift Creek was the lowest for me, 100%. I thought Swanee was the lowest. It wasn't. Swift Creek was the lowest.
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
definitely looked the worst. At that very last aid station, which was surprising because you left Camp Branch like so motivated. I was like, oh, he's looking really good. Spirits are back up. We're doing this thing.
Yeah.
And then to get to the last aid station, I'm expecting him to be like, okay, just one more little segment. Like
7.5 miles.
And he came in dragging, like, I was like, oh, okay, we're hurting. We are, this is bad. Like, you could do this. Come on. Like, like
we need the cheerleader in you
I
to come
know.
out.
Yeah.
I sat in the chair for a couple minutes on that one. I did not sit down at Camp Ranch.
I didn't sit down after.
I didn't give you the option.
After Springs.
If you were going to sit down, it was going to be on the ground. I wasn't giving you the chair again.
Yeah.
Tough love.
I sat at Sewanee Springs so you could tape my ankle.
Yes.
And then after that, I didn't sit down again.
Because I know how hard it is to get up. I've watched you do it.
I didn't want to sit down, but I think that was a good call because you were there at the end of my 100-miler and you saw that exact same thing with Nate and I after I got my breakfast meal in the chair. I didn't even stop moving. I had Nate there to take my waters. I missed that, by the way. I was like undoing my waters before I get to the aid stations, and I was like, who am I going to hang these to? My guy normally just runs ahead of me and gets my waters refilled, and I just keep moving.
I spoiled you.
You did spoil me. Yeah. This time I came in and I had to wait for Sydney to fill them up. Like,
get you a bell.
What a time suck.
Water, please.
Mind you, halfway through, you asked me to fill up your other 2. I filled them up, and what did they do the rest of the race? Sat in the cooler. Never got touched.
I drank one after the race. You're welcome. Thank you. Anyways.
But I was in a low, and I'm like, I just want this to be over. I'm over it.
You literally said, this isn't fun anymore.
I did say that. That's true. I said, well,
more good self-talk, Nate.
This isn't fun anymore. I'm over it.
John, rewinding a bunch. Yeah. John had said that he only signed up for this race to have fun and like run with us.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 20 something miles. And it was on that long stretch after I had caught you guys at the water thing and we were running together. I remember looking at John and I was like, John, you said you were on a mission to have fun this time, right? You having fun yet? And he's like, nah, man. Not having fun yet.
Not having fun anymore.
I don't think he ever was.
Yeah, he put in a big effort after that 150.
Yeah, I think that him signing up for this was just not silly, but like hopefully his expectations were super low because that's insane.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I was I was having fun up until this point. I'm not having fun anymore. But hey, I was at the last aid station. I'll take it. I'll take it. So left there. Hobbling. Yeah, I was hobbling pretty hard.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of it was because I won't get too personal. The chafing, dude.
Yeah.
Being so wet and everything, like it's bad. And it just makes running that much harder.
The sweat. Yeah. You had an ice bandana on a lot that dripped down to all your crevices. And chafing got rough for everybody, but according to you, your chafing is significantly worse.
Yeah, it's without getting into too many explicit details, it's pretty bad. So we're talking about preventing future infections. So we're gonna take care of that. So anyway,
some Germ-X.
So yeah, we'll just go through that from Camp Ranch leaving there. Sorry, Swift Creek leaving there. I left, and then
before I got to Swift Creek, my battery pack for my light. My light that I was using has to be plugged into a battery pack. It doesn't have a battery of its own. And I was using that same battery pack to charge my phone. Apparently that was too much. My battery pack died and my light just went out while I was running on the trail. And I was like, well, crap. So then I get my phone out. Like, this is going to have to work. Thank God there's a light on it. And
where's my pacer? He always has a pacer light.
I was like, nobody was around me. There was nobody in front of me that I could catch up to. There was nobody behind me coming. Like, I walked for the next 2 miles at a decent clip, like 70 and 20 pace or something walking, but saw no one.
Yeah.
It's like, really, of all the times to see no one, nobody with a light. But during that, I was like 2 miles from the aid station. My light had just died. And I come up on this dude laying on the side of the trail. And I was like, you good, man? He gives me a thumbs up. It's like, you only got 2 miles to the next aid station. Get up. He gives me a thumbs up. And I was like, come on, get up and keep moving. He gives me another thumbs up. And I was like, whatever. I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah.
I was not in the headspace to like help him right there because my light had just died. My morale was pretty low at that point too. And I was walking. Before that, I was doing decent. Like I was holding a 15-ish pace.
Yeah.
And then that happened. And I called my buddy Jimmy on the phone who always helps me out on these long runs, and he's up late at night like a weirdo. And we chatted while I walked, and just he helped my morale quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then I came into that aid station and got the battery situation figured out. Well, kind of. Cindy says, do you just want your headlamp for this next section? I was like, sure. I mean, not really, but sure, I'll take a headlamp. How much batteries it got? 1 bar. All right. That's
You
not
said,
going to work.
I was prepared.
All right. Less prepared.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. Full circle.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
fair.
never lost a source of light. You always had one.
It's true. The phone does work.
You come bebopping through the trail. You're on the phone with me. And I don't know where you are because we've been on the phone.
light
I see a
bop.
light bopping along the trail. I'm like,
You're
that's not.
Is that you coming? Yep.
Because I can hear you. I can hear you now talking through the woods. I'm like, now I've got an echo, and I just hung up the phone.
But then I have a second battery pack for my waist light. Check it. It's got 2 out of 4 bars. I was like, that's gonna have to work. If it dies, I've got my phone again.
Yeah.
I dropped off my poles at that point. I was like already mentally preparing for the finish. I was like, I want this hat that I can wear at the finish line. I'm not wearing it right now. I don't want my poles to worry about. What am I gonna need at the finish? Because I was thinking about pictures already.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Well, it's
but
actually kind of cool because, like, rewind at the finish line.
let's fast forward.
Well, hold on. So John ended up dropping at 37
Oh, yeah.
because his hips were blocking up, and because of his big effort, he ended up choosing, it's not worth it to me to push at this
Yeah.
race for him because he has other races lined up.
He came to have fun, and if
He
he
came
would
to
have tried
have
to
fun.
push through the next half,
Yeah.
number one, I don't think he would have made the cutoffs in
No.
the condition he was in,
Yeah.
and he wouldn't have had fun
No.
at all.
No, it would have been a complete grind for
Yeah.
him. And so with that in mind, he ended up dropping at 37 and he ended up going back home. And we crossed the finish line both of us wearing his hat.
Yeah.
And I've intentionally made sure that I had
Same.
that hat on for that,
Same.
just to carry John across the finish line. I would have been cool to grab his spike, but he gets to hang on to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point.
Yeah,
is
it
if
is-
you don't
it is the
finish,
whole point,
you
yeah.
carry that burden without the FDR stuff on.
Yeah,
it.
right.
But yeah, I intentionally put the You Run You hat in my pack.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna finish this thing for
Yeah,
John.
for John. So that was really cool. And
Yeah.
but just before the finish, so
Well, as I left that aid
Go ahead.
station, I got a little, not pep talk, but like a little info from Sydney saying Nate's not doing well, and I was like, okay, I'm like, no big deal. I
Yeah.
mean, he's miles ahead of me, and she's like, he's not that far ahead of you anymore. He's maybe a mile or something, maybe a couple still.
yeah.
And she's like, but he told us that he's walking 20-minute pace for these next 6 miles, just gonna finish the thing. He should be finishing around 11:30 or something. And I was like, well, I already wanted to finish before midnight.
Yeah.
That was already like a goal in my head that I had just set. No expectations up to that point,
Yeah.
but just looking at the time, I was like, I think I can make that happen. And I'm like, maybe I can catch up with Nate and we can finish this thing together.
Mhm.
So I left that aid station highly motivated and was booking it to
Nice.
you.
Nice.
Booking it.
Yeah.
Like my 30-second win kicked in.
That's good. That's good.
And I was moving to get to you.
Yeah. So on that last section, on the phone with you actually,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden this headlamp appears coming the other way. I'm like, oh, great. This is it. It's some boogeyman gonna come out, like raid me or something. Well,
Let me finish.
he comes out and he's like hobbling and he's carrying a soft flask. I said, what's up, man? You doing all right? He goes, how far is it to the road back there? I said, oh, back there, you probably got about an hour and a half walk to the road. He's like, oh, man, I've been in the bushes throwing up for the last, I don't know how long he said. And so, like, I'm trying to talk to this dude, trying to get him. I said, well, just come on, dude. I'll walk it in with you. I'll get you across the finish line. He's like, I can't, man. I can't. I'm done. I'm done. I need somebody to come pick me up. And I'm like, well, there's nowhere for anybody to pick you up. So
You're on a trail in the
you're
middle
on a
of the woods.
trail in the middle of nowhere. I stayed with him for probably 20-ish minutes.
Yeah.
Just trying to speak some life into him. I said, do you have water? He goes, yeah, I got plenty of water. Do you have food? I do, but I can't eat it. I'm throwing it all up. I said, okay. Do you have a phone? Yeah. Do you have service? Yes. Like running through all the check boxes. And I said, all right, well, let me get you to the state park. So at least you're in the state park. It's easier to access you. So I walked with them to a point where the state park trail cuts into the Florida trail.
Mhm.
And I said, all right, here's the deal, man. You can either walk into the finish or sit here. But when I cross that finish line, I'm going to let somebody know.
Yeah.
Like where you're at. And so I was on the phone. I said, Lauren, go get the race director. I talked to the race director on the phone and he ended up driving to go pick up the guy. And that ended up working out. But I spent probably 20-ish minutes with him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
So he's letting you know you weren't catching up.
No.
No.
No. I mean, honestly, like, I'm glad that we got to finish it together.
Yeah.
So, like, that was perfect. I mean, I'm not going to, like, just leave the guy, but I told him straight up, I said, I can't get you out of here.
No.
Maybe if I was healthy, but I'm not healthy. And
Well, you talked to Lauren about this guy, and then Lauren told Sid, and Sid called me and said, hey, there's a guy up ahead, prior to you calling me yourself. And she's like, Nate says there's a guy up ahead not doing well. And I was like, is it Nate?
I wasn't doing well, but I was still moving.
Yeah.
I was still running.
And then you called me and told me about the guy. And I think at that point you were like 3/4 of a mile ahead of me or something.
Yeah.
Like you weren't that far ahead of me. And I was like, oh, well, here's where I'm at. Like, I'm going to be up there soon. And so I looked out for the guy and I asked him basically the same questions.
Yeah.
I mean, much shorter version because I knew you had just talked with him. And I was like, well, what's your bib number at least? And took note of where he was. And I mean, you had it under control. I just provided some extra information that I think you had already given them. But yeah, anyway, so that was a little funny moment for me to be like, oh, Nate's not doing well. No, it's this guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's some guy on the side of the trail. Got it.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, with that, though, maybe, I don't know, maybe another mile, we caught up with each other. We basically ran the last 1.5 miles together.
I think I caught you at 3/4 of a mile
Left?
remaining.
You're remaining? Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was the 20 minutes.
Yeah. Probably. I would have probably caught you right at the finish line. Otherwise.
Yeah, probably.
Because
So.
I slowed down a little bit when I caught you to hang with you.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, man, I was moving to catch you.
You're moving real good.
I was running like between 12 and 14-minute miles to catch
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
And
I was like 15 and a half pace.
yeah, not
16.
20. I thought I had extra time.
Yeah.
You were going faster.
Yeah.
When I
I
told
wasn't
you where I
going
was.
faster.
You said you were going to walk 20-minute miles.
Well, I said that, but I'm like, I'm just going to try to run.
Yeah.
And so I ran a good portion of that.
Yeah.
I say run.
Yeah,
It felt like I was running.
I remember asking you on the phone, how are you moving? And you're like, I'm trotting.
I'm trying. It was a trot
Got a little trot.
for sure.
I'm like, okay.
But we ended up finishing the thing together, 13th, 14th place.
I thought that they would just put the same time and put our names.
We crossed together.
I know.
It was like a second difference or something. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't care.
After using Ultra Sign Up, I know that you can have a tie.
Oh, you
the
can?
same number. Yeah, all of our, or a bunch of our participants have.
It wasn't chipped. Somebody was writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they just didn't write the same number down, and we both would have
Doesn't
got
matter.
13th, I guess.
But
Either way.
It was a really good event. It was a good race. It was a good run.
Yeah.
Learned a lot. And we had an awesome crew. The vibe was great.
Yeah.
So you guys were awesome. So thanks for sticking with us for the whole thing.
It was awesome having John and his wife there too.
Yep.
Like the vibes were good from them for the first half also.
Yeah. It was really good. All in all,
What a
great
team.
experience. Can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
Not this race necessarily, but a different race.
This was the last year for the Florida Death Race, they say.
Yep.
So
You missed
cool.
out.
Yeah. If you think all this sounds fun, too bad.
Yeah. So that's a wrap. That's 74 miles done. On to the next one.
74-ish.
74-ish. So any other closing remarks?
No, I just think like from a crew standpoint, it was really nice that we got to stay together, me and Sydney, because
Yeah,
going
true.
into it, we don't know,
Oh, yeah.
how the race is going to go, if we're going to be separated. I was pleasantly surprised that Ryan was hanging the whole
Yeah.
time. Like, this is great.
You and everyone else.
Like,
Yeah.
I get to hang out with Sydney.
I
the
was
whole
pleasantly
time.
surprised that you stuck around with Sid, even after Nate was
Yeah.
ahead of me by a couple miles every time.
Yeah. Well, I knew I had enough time between, and that was nice too. I never felt like I had to rush at any point. So
Except for when he called you and said you.
right.
That was
What?
false. But yeah.
No, I want to say thank you for waiting on me basically every
Oh.
time. Even that last, I think it was the last aid station when we were like, do you need to move your car so you can go? And you're like, no, I think I have time.
That was the second to last one.
Yeah.
Whatever,
The
either
last
way.
one was the only one I didn't stay
Mhm.
for,
Okay.
just to triple check we didn't miss a finish or anything like
Yeah,
that.
that'd be a bad one to miss.
Yeah. I'll see you there.
Yeah. That's cool.
Also, I'm afraid of the dark. Fun fact.
Fun
And it's really dark out
Some
there.
kids never rode it.
Stars were nice to look at. Lauren pointed them out,
Yeah.
but the last aid station, Lauren parked a little bit closer to the actual aid, and I parked not far. It was a very short walk, but I parked my car. I hopped out And I walk up to Lauren, I tap on the window, I open the door, I said, "Can I please sit with you? I really don't want to be sitting back there in the dark by myself."
Oh, that's good. That's what these races are about. It's just a community, being around friends, and
absolutely,
having a good time. So I'm glad you guys had a good time and chasing us around through the woods.
Yeah.
If any of our listeners here ever do a race like this and they don't do it with somebody, the community is awesome. Typically, find a runner that's running similar pace to your runner, and find their significant other and hang with them the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are going to see each other repeatedly at aid stations, so you might as well communicate and get to know one another, and have somebody there to sit with in the dark.
And everybody's there to help.
Well, they might not let you in your vehicle, but
stranger danger.
Yeah, stranger danger. So,
but crewing is arguably harder. I haven't gotten the pleasure of experiencing that yet, but you guys just sat there for a long time. I won't.
You won't have that
Oh,
experience.
not for
me.
That's a guarantee. You will never.
No hesitation.
Crewing
not
for an
for
ultra.
you, for other people like Nate.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys just spend a lot of time sitting still, waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the military. Hurry up and wait.
It was a good time.
So we appreciate our crew.
Yep. You guys killed it. So we'll see what's next.
We'll see.
We'll see what's next. Don't know.
We're not putting anything on the docket anytime soon.
Not yet. No. It's time.
My wife says I have to sit out for 2 months.
Yeah. It's time.
Last night it was 3. Now we're at 2.
Well, in 2 weeks.
3-ish months.
We got to heal up, because in 2 weeks we have to pay somebody for their southern states. 200. So we got some work to do. But then at the end of March, shutting it off. It's just training and healing.
Why are we all laughing?
Well, you and I have the run and row coming up in April.
Oh yeah, I got
which is 5K. Nothing for you.
Make sure I get my training.
I'm going to be on a trail for
you
a 5.
You didn't train for 74. What are you talking about?
I'm going to be struggling.
You say I didn't train for 74, but I walked 100 miles.
Yeah. No, you didn't walk 100. You walked 90.
Sorry, I'm dying. Yeah, I walked 85 to 90 miles in training for this.
That just goes to show, guys, you too can finish 100 miles. You can, if Ryan can do it. I'm just kidding. You're an awesome runner.
Oh yeah, I'm an awesome walker too.
Yeah.
But it got you the Florida Man Challenge.
It did.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
pretty cool.
Good performance by all. We appreciate you guys listening into this episode of the Suffer Up podcast with Nate, Ryan, Lauren, and Sydney for the Florida Death Race 2026 recap. If you guys like this episode, be sure to tune in to other week's episodes. We drop an episode every Monday, so please be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe to us on all the socials, and stay tuned for other future possible events.
Yeah, also thank you and shout out to Run Bum who put this race on, and the 100 miler that I did, and some other ones. I mean, they got a bunch of races, so props to them for running a good race and flexing with the heat and everything. I think this was well done.
Yep.
So
they did a good job for sure. So thanks so much, guys. Stay after it. We love y'all. And as always,
suffer up.